Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, Rockford Ordnance. Today we're bringing you something a little near and dear to my heart, a Century M70ab2 Yugo Underfolder. This was the first AK I ever bought, and didn't know anything about them at the time, but looking back, I sure am glad I bought it. These are just tanks of weapons, built solid as a brick shit house. And let's show you a little bit about this gun. These came in, these were sold by Century. They were brought into the country as kits, demilled and rebuilt into rifles using American-made receivers. This particular gun was subbed out by Century to DC Industries. They were a great builder, put these things together phenomenally. Rivets are solid. This gun's probably got 3,000 rounds through it, and the rivets are formed perfectly. Not a lick of trouble with this gun. Runs smooth as could be. They don't get smoother than this, guys. In my opinion, it was actually a little bit smoother, but it had a real light spring in it. These guns were known to have super light springs, whether that's how Zastava designed it or whether they were just a little bit worn from use. Who knows? But even the M70abs, which are essentially brand new guns, are known to have light springs, and actually some people say that they had some problems with them. Some cracking of trunnions, maybe because the carrier was hitting them due to the light springs. I don't know. I take everything I hear with a grain of salt unless I can see it with my own eyes. I've got lots of Yugos, never had a lick of trouble with them, and I've got thousands of rounds through them. Anyhow, let's jump into the gun and show you some of the features of this gun. First and foremost, what probably makes it the most unique is the folding stock. This was standard issue, and you can look at a lot of pictures from Serbia and see these in use in just this form here. They operate real simply. Push the button here and fold the stock down. And let me get this sling out of the way. It's easier if I do it this way. Fold them up into place. They lock in nice and solid, and that's it. This safety was designed, if you can see this, the safety was designed to be able to clear the arm of the stock so you could operate it while it was folded or open. However, I have put this webbing on here, braiding, paracord braiding, to make it a little softer. And although I'm right-handed and only need it on the left side, I put it on the right side too, in case somebody left-handed wanted to shoot it, but it does block the operation of the safety. So I'm probably going to take it off the right side here, but it does act as a nice buffer for your face, and it's really comfortable with that braiding on there. Might do a video on how to do this braiding. It's real simple, and it's a nice look rather than just, wrapping it with the standard way. It really has a nice look to it. So maybe I'll do a video on that for you. Anyhow, these stocks lock up pretty nice and tight, side to side. There's no movement whatsoever. Up and down, tiny bit of movement, tiny bit, unnoticeable when shouldering the weapon. Some of these are looser than others when you get them, but there's a couple ways to tighten them up. In here there's a nut, there's also a pin that holds it. A lot of times those pins are missing, or maybe the builder never put them in to begin with. Mine was there, but I was able to punch it out, tighten it up a little bit, reinsert the pin, and it's been phenomenal. These guns have a few other things that are unique to them. One being the night sights. Here on the back you can flip it up, flip it down. Same with the front. Let me get a little closer here so you can see it. You can flip it up, if you can see that. Flip it up, and in the rear there's tritium vials in here, and they insert through each side. You can get new ones because of course over the years they're dead. You can get new ones. There's companies out there making them, and you simply insert them in the side, put a little dab of epoxy in there to hold them, and they work great. On the front there were two variants. One like this, where there's a small indent in this sight and a spot to put phosphorescent paint. If you can see that. Anyhow, so you can freshen that up with a little dab of phosphorescent paint too. So that was unique to this weapon. Also, grenade launcher and sights, what you would do, and you can buy them from some of the suppliers, Numeric, a few others, AK Options is one, a few other places. You can get the spigot that screws on the end here. Grenade goes over the spigot, and to fire it you would raise your grenade launching sights. When you raise that sight, what it does is cuts off the gas to the piston. There is blank rounds that are fired, and the gas from that round pushes that grenade off the end of the barrel. They make dummies, kind of fun to launch in the yard. If you just want to try it out and say that you did it, you know, one of those kind of things. But they are fun. Heavier receivers on these guns, guys, 1.5 millimeter. So they are thicker, they are a bit heavier. Heavy barrel, RPK barrel essentially. Bulge trunnions, RPK. This gun's built like an RPK in a regular rifle form. Does add a little weight. It's never bothered me much. The gun is just, it's phenomenal. To me, the sound it makes when you're whacking the bolt, everything is just more solid than an AKM with a 1 millimeter receiver. It doesn't feel as tinny, it seems more solid. Just like it. I don't know. It's something, maybe because it was my first gun, I just love them, but great tank of a gun. Now, when I got this gun, it came with typical Century hardware. Century grip, Century forend, typical polymer. Nice stuff, heavy stuff, feels good. Just didn't have that character to it. Held off for years and finally put the wood on it, put a Yugo sling on it, and put the original Zastava grip on it. I think the rifle looks much better in this form. It kind of had that half-assed tactical look to it before, which I guess when I was younger I liked. Now I kind of like the history of the guns, like a lot of us do. Also, bolt hole open mags. This one is not, I just threw a Romanian in here for the video, but Yugoslavia, Serbia had bolt hole open magazines. On the last round fired, it would lock the carrier back, and as soon as you pulled the mag out, it would release the carrier. Kind of a neat feature. I like shooting with them, and the mags are, if you can still find some. I just found some actually. Nice blued original, never inserted in the gun, phenomenal. I actually put about 20 of those away. A few of the ones that looked like they'd been inserted I'm going to use, but the other ones I put away, they were that nice. Standard G2 trigger. You know, if you're familiar with G2s, they've got the 2 humps in them. I smoothed those out. You know, it had a little bit of a hang up like some AKs do when you rack the bolt back, a little bit of a hang up. Once I smoothed that out, came out really nice. Let's see if I can get the cover off here. Got the cover off. We'll pull the spring out here and pull the carrier out. I don't know if you can see here, but I smoothed the G2 out a little bit. Carrier goes over it nicely, doesn't hang up at all. Also, went to solve that weak spring problem we talked about earlier, went to an ALG spring. Put these in an NPAP, this gun, and another M70. If you can see, it has these coils here in the middle that are touching. There's no separation like the rest of it. ALG claims that it changes the harmonics of the spring. I can tell you this, it's a lot harder to pull back. I'd say it's about 10% heavier. Comes forward real nice. We tested it the other day, about 300 rounds through it, and it ran great with this. Didn't outrun the magazine, nothing like that. Tried it with everything from just some mishmash of Euromags, Yugo bolt hold opens, Tapcos, mag pulls, Gen 2, 3, all of them. It ran everything and anything and functioned flawlessly. We were running Golden Tiger and some Red Army Standard, which in my opinion is the same damn ammo, just reboxed for Century. I think that's why you're not seeing Golden Tiger anymore, guys. I think Century gave them a heck of a contract, and they're just reboxing it in those Red Army boxes. But hey, who cares if it's the same ammo? It runs good. Did have a couple of hard primers on them. Out of, I don't know, 500 rounds or so, a couple rechambered rounds they fired. Maybe I need to put a hammer spring in this thing, I don't know, but anyhow, I think we talked about it, went with the original spring, the original grip, the original wood. The wood, let's talk about the wood for a minute. Came to me, I bought 4 or 5 of these. And I'd recommend buying a couple if you can, because you know, some are a little nicer than others. Some places may have a hand pick option, but you see how nice this is? The wood came out really, really nice. They all have a little dent here in the bottom from where the underfolder hits it, but guys, these were used, I don't know, on the battlefield, but they were in service. Here's another set that I got in the same shipment. Now keep in mind, these have been cleaned, these have been run through a dishwasher, sanded, acetone, you name it, I did it. And look at the stains in these things. I don't know if this particular set, if that's ink, if that's solvent, if they washed them down with dirty diesel fuel or oiled the gun with some old diesel motor oil or what. But those black stains ain't coming out. It's been sanded, everything. So might make for a nice battlefield look if I ever do one, who knows. But I kept a nice one, redid it. Guys, these are super simple to redo. Sand them, 220 is fine. Work your way down to 220. If you get a nice one, they don't even need much sanding. And once you're done, just take a rag with some boiled linseed oil, wipe it on, kind of heavy. Let it sit, half hour, come back, take a rag, wipe off any puddles, anything heavy, and then let it dry overnight. Do that, come out the next day, do it again, oil it down, let it sit for an hour or so, wipe off any puddles, heavy drips, whatever. Let it dry again overnight. Do that for 7 days or so, and that is what you get. Real nice satin finish. Beautiful color, brings out some of the deeper tones. If you do have a nick in it, that you couldn't sand out, or some battlefield marks or trench art or anything, it will make those areas darker. Maybe you can see under the sight here. They all seem to be a little dark under the where the grenade sight went, you know, from oil sitting under it or whatever. But it will accentuate those dents a little bit. But hey, that's what adds character. Anyways, came out really nice. Great shooter. Love it to death. If you're into optics, might be a problem for you. No optic rail. Probably could go with a master mount. Put a master mount on there, or you could do an Ultimac rail or something like that. This gun, I love it with the iron sights. I've went away from optics a little bit lately. I enjoy shooting the irons. Hey, it builds your skills. Anybody can throw a red dot on or some magnification and go to town, but if you could hit it, you know, 100, 200, 300 and out with iron sights, you can certainly do it with an optic, so why not practice without it? I got nothing against them. I've got a lot of rifles with optics. Just, I got kind of bored, you know, and seem to be going back to irons in a lot of cases. Anyhow, if you can find one of these, you know, back in the day they were going, oh, I think I'm pretty sure I paid $3.99 for this gun, maybe $4.99, back around, I want to say 07, maybe 05, somewhere in there, brand new, when they first started hitting the stores. I think it was around then. Now I don't see them going much under 800-900 on Gunbroker and stuff. You know, you might be able to pick one up cheap somewhere, you know, one of the boards or something, but in my opinion, with Wassers going at, you know, $675, $7, I saw one at a good shop the other day that usually has some decent prices. They were asking $750 for a Wasser. So hey, 800-900. I'll take this gun any day of the week over a Wasser. Nothing wrong with a Wasser. I've got Wassers, love them. Just find this a bit more interesting and a bit more heavy duty. So I don't think that'd be a bad price. If you can find one, guys, and you've got a hole in your collection, you don't have an underfolder, pick one up. Great gun. Maybe we'll get some video of us shooting this in the future. Doing these videos, it's going to be me, my buddy Jake. We are Rockford Ordnance, and we're going to be bringing you a lot of videos going forward here. If you like what you saw, we're new at this, so please cut us a little slack. But if you like what you saw, like the video, subscribe. We'll have a lot more content coming to you. We love AKs, yeah, and there'll be some other stuff in there too. But like, subscribe, and we'll see you soon.